Namaskaram everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I made a video like this. This is my 6-year inner engineering review video. For those of you who are watching this video for the first time, so my name is Vaisakh and I did my inner engineering program with Sadhguru in May 2018. And after that, every year I make this video where I share my experience of how the year has been using the tools provided by inner engineering and other programs. And to be very honest, till the 4th year I've been doing this video regularly. Last year, that is the 5th year, I did not make a video because of certain incidents that happened in my life. If you're someone who has watched the previous podcast with Abhishek and Stevan, I must have realized that it is because of my divorce. I had got married a while back and that did not work out. So I did not want to make a review video in which I'm not openly able to share my life, because at that time the divorce had not yet been legal, so it was not right of me to talk about it. So I did not want to make a video where I'm not talking about my genuine experience and what I'm going through in life. Because I'm a person for whom, if I'm at a low state, it is much easier for me to make a video saying, hey guys, I'm going through a low phase in my life and this is how it is, rather than acting all happy and peaceful. So that is why the 5 years of inner engineering video never came. So this is that video. So ever since I did inner engineering, I have never skipped my practices for the 4 years. That is, not even a single day I have skipped my Shambhavi Mahamudra. But in the 5th year, that is last year, I skipped for a few days. I skipped my Shakti Chalana Kriya, which I learned in my Shunya program, for a lot of weeks. I've been doing Shunya only once a day and not twice as it is ideal. And I have skipped Shunya also for a lot of days. Hatha Yoga has just been on and off also. And there are various reasons for it, and you will understand it as I go through this video. So please do watch the video till the end. At the same time, I wanted to clarify certain things which I was not able to do in the podcast. First things first, the divorce just happened. That is, legally it got filled just a week back, but the process has been on for more than a year. So I think a lot of you misunderstood that, it's just been there and I'm still going through the turmoils of that. But that is not the fact. I have had enough time to heal myself, and in the meantime, if you look at my Instagram, all the videos where I'm traveling and all, where I'm very joyful and happy, it's not me faking. It is not at all me faking, and I am getting to that, how I was able to do that. I was able to recover very fastly from that, and I want you to know that also. And the next thing is, the podcast, basically me, Abhishek and Stevan make this podcast called Unmasked Podcast for Men, and we only put it on Spotify. So many of you, I read the comments, you thought, Abhishek was interrupting me or he was not allowing me to speak. But this is not true. I really wanted to address the context of the podcast. The context of the podcast was, all three of us get together, and we had decided, we'll equally share about what we wanted to talk. Yes, we had decided I would be sharing about my divorce, but if you look at the podcast, it's mostly me talking, and those guys were really accommodating to allow me to share. So from that context, you have to understand, Abhishek's inputs were really valuable, and actually he was not at all interrupting. But that is the style of the podcast. That is how it is structured. It is. I'm sure many of you are used to my podcast where I'm not at all interrupting my guests or I'm not at all talking. But that is how I have structured my podcast. But this Unmasked for Men is structured in such a way that each of us share our views, and then the others give their inputs, so that you listeners can see where it is coming from and can get deeper insights into our conversation. So it is not basically Abhishek interrupting me or anything. It is just how the podcast is structured. So I just wanted to clarify that. So now getting into the main topic, so I think I got married in September 2022, and then within 4 months, the marriage did not work out. So both of us were separated since then, and to be very honest, it was initially very hard for me, because this is not something that I'm really used to. Because I've grown up in a family where marriages are meant for life. But when the time comes, whatever we need to do, we have to do. And in the previous podcast, I didn't emphasize, the amount of support my family, my parents, my mom and dad, my auntie, my uncle, they all were a huge support for me to able to do this. Because let's say the thing is not working, and I see this in most families, or I've heard of it. I have not seen it, let's be honest, I have not seen it, but I've heard in most families, when it is not working, you know um, even if it is not working, somehow because of what society thinks, people try to make it happen. But here that was not there. Even though we put the best efforts to make it happen, sometimes it doesn't happen for various reasons. And my parents were a huge support in you know allowing me to do what was needed. And if it was not for their support, it would have never happened, and I would have struggled 100 million times more. So since I couldn't emphasize it in the previous podcast, I wanted to put it out here. Then uh, the initial phase was definitely a struggle for me. I thought I would just do my sadhana on my yoga mat. And yes, I forgot to tell you guys, this is my sadhana space. You can see I have Sadhguru's photo, a lamp. This I burn every day morning. I have a Devi. I just have a Devi photo. I do not have any Devi yantra or goody or anything, but Devi is always there with me. I've kept a flower for her. I think she likes red flowers. That's what I feel. And then, of course, the Anlinga, silent presence. He doesn't talk. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't do anything. But his presence is like that. So he's there. So this is my room. This room has seen me grow, has seen me cry, has seen me go through all kinds of emotional turmoil. And this is my Himalayan cave. Uh, you don't need to go to Himalayas. If you have a solid practice, this should be your Himalayan cave. So like a saving, I thought initially I would figure it out all doing my sadhana on my yoga mat, but life doesn't happen like that. Sadhana off the mat is as important as sadhana on the mat. So I would do my practices more when this was happening, but I would just get half an hour of relief. I would do my Shambhavi, Yogasana, Shakti Chalana, Shunya, everything, but it would just give me half an hour, 1 hour. I was feeling so much anxious that I would even not do my sadhana here, but I would go down to where my mom or dad was sleeping, and I would just put my yoga mat over there, and there I do my sadhana, so that I just don't feel lonely. I'm talking about, this is a year back this happened. And that's when I suddenly remembered about my friend Don, the founder of Atman Kalari Yoga, and that Kalaripayattu. I don't know, somewhere in the back of my memory, I remember that Sadhguru says, every day we are provided with a certain amount of energy, and if we do not expend it, we might go through a lot of mental overhaul and trauma and struggle. We will just be very, very erratic. And that was how I was becoming. Even though I was doing my sadhana, I was not doing anything else. I was doing my sadhana, maybe I was going out, maybe watching some movies, but that was not enough for me. I was not so physically active. That's when I decided to go to Don's place and enroll for the Kalaripayattu program. And that was really, really a game changer for me. Why I'm saying this is, Don is my college friend. We have studied in college together for engineering, and at that time he was into alcohol. He was into a lot of fist fights, police cases, so many things. He was what you would call the class hooligan, or someone who no one liked. No one liked in the sense professors did not like, but we loved Don because whenever we needed something, we knew if we go to Don, he will do for us. Whether it's right, wrong, good, bad, if we ask Don, I need your help to beat up this guy, Don would be with us. So that's how Don was. That's how he was. And but later, because he realized his lifestyle was leading him to a very, very bad state, he left all of that and went and stayed under a guru and learned for I think 3 years or 2 years Kalari, and then came out and he set up his own Kalari workshop. And his story is very, very, very this thing. He left once, I think he left his home and he stayed with the guru. Then he came back home. Now he's married and he has 2 kids. And he has also someone who has gone through a divorce. So for me, just being with him, being with his family during this tough time was hugely supportive, because he understood what I was going through, and he made sure, even after the Kalari workshop, he wouldn't let me go. He would make sure, I stayed at his place, had breakfast, I would play with his kids, and then I would just slowly come back. And his calorie, the specialty about his calorie is that the basement, it is below the ground and it is with soil. And one of the sadhana, if you check in the Sadhguru app, is that spend time with soil, and it will take care of a lot of things that is going within you. Even if my external situations was not getting any better, just being with that soil, doing the calorie, physically expending myself, give me a huge support at that time. So definitely calorie is something that I would suggest all of you look into. Even if you're not going through a hard time, it is very essential that we build ourselves so that when a hard time hits, we are good. And one thing I would say is, as a person, I was always scared to get into fights. Let's say some fight comes, you have to involve, right? Let's say someone is coming to beat you up, or maybe you have to protect your loved one. You need to have some skill. My only thought was, what would happen if such a situation arose in my life? I would say, I always used to think, I might run away. That's the only thought, or maybe I really did not know what to do. But now going for Kalari for like a few months now, it's not that I've become an expert fighter or I can beat up people, no. But my thought process has changed. Now even if I picturize someone coming to hit me, or if a situation arises, I know there are certain things I can do, that I do not need to run away. So that mind shift itself is a huge has caused a huge shift within me, is what I personally felt. So if you are really interested in Kalari, I think Isha Samskriti online Kalari is there. But if you want to come to our place and learn Kalari, definitely that option is also there. You can check his website and Instagram. There are a lot of courses that is offered. I put it in the description below also. So Kalari. At the same time, the next thing I want to talk about, the next thing is Bhavaspandana. So Bhavaspandana is an advanced program offered at Isha, and I somehow within me I knew I have to go for this program since all this issue happened, because I was suddenly carrying a huge rock on my shoulder. With Kalari, with sadhana, I was somehow able to relax a bit, but I know the rock was still up there and it might fall on me anytime. And I knew Bhavaspandana had the huge possibility of not only keeping the rock down but shattering it into pieces and never bothering about it. So I went for the Bhavaspandana program, and trust me, after that 4-day volunteering, somehow everything shifted within me. Like, let's be honest, I always had a little bit resentment towards my ex and all those things, but after that, nothing like that. I just had gratitude for what all happened with me, and the kind of evolution that led me to. I was so full of gratitude that it happened. And uh, yes, in Bhavaspandana program, something happened, and I would like to share that till then I had never skipped my sadhana. No matter what happened, I would do my Shambhavi and Shakti Chalana. And uh, why I'm sharing this is one thing that always has bothered me. One time my uncle fell ill and he was admitted in the hospital, and rather than thinking about what I have to do for him and how to help him, I was more worried about whether I'll be able to do my sadhana my day. And I still remember while I was with auntie and as his bystander I was standing, uh, I, I, I was somehow trying to do my practices, and I did my practices. And that really bothered me, because what was I doing? My uncle is not well, and rather than doing what is needed over there, I'm more worried about doing my Shambhavi. And it is just me. I'm not saying this is a wrong thing or right thing, but I felt at that moment, I'm not saying doing Shambhavi is wrong, or doing it in the hospital is wrong, nothing like that. But at that moment, that was not what was needed of me. And but the place I was coming from also was, as someone who has struggled with mental health, the thought in my mind was, the day I skip Shambhavi, my mental health would get ruined, or I might have anxiety. So I was coming from a place of fear. So I was always carrying this within me. Let's say if I want to travel somewhere, or if I'm in a place where I'm not able to do practice, how will I do it? Or if someone in my family falls ill, or if I fall ill, how will I manage? So I was carrying this thing also within me. So when I went for Bhavaspandana volunteering, the number of volunteers were actually quite less. So we had to uh, what do we had to do? Yes. Yeah, I was just thinking about it. Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming for me. Yeah, so Yeah, so in the Bhavaspandana, the number of volunteers were quite less. So the Anna told us, don't go sneak out to do your practices. They are like gods for us. So on that day, I decided, yes, this is the thing. I won't sneak and do sadhana. And actually, on a certain day, I was not able to do my practices, but I was really joyful and this thing, and that gave me to the reality that sadhana is not just on the mat, but if I'm fully involved with what I'm doing, it can just happen. So from that day, I experienced an amount of stability which I've never experienced in my life. I was just blown away by it. Oh my god, so this is what regular people enjoy, which I've been struggling to get. So I think that was just a blessing from Sadhguru and Devi to help me through this troubled time. And I just noticed from that day, even if I'm not doing that much sadhana, I'm just on, and I'm just grateful for Sadhguru and Devi for giving me that. And from that day, I was able to involve with people more. I was able to enjoy the small things which I have always been jealous of others. I've seen my cousins, they all enjoy so much, but I'm struggling so much. I can't do the simple things with a lot of love and joy. But since that day, I've been able to do the simple things. Maybe it's drinking tea, maybe it's just being with my friends, maybe it's going on a trek and enjoying the beauty of nature. So for me, doing that was enormous. It was just so overwhelming for me, and I've still so much gratitude for that happening in my life. I don't know whether it's for others it's huge, but for me as a person, it was a very huge thing. Yeah, and then when you might have seen in movies, when someone goes through a breakup, they always change their look. So I also decided to do that. Tapashana said, man, grow a beard. So I thought I grew a beard, and I thought beard is not enough, I need something drastic. So I got some earrings also. Karna Veda, I did Karna Veda from Devi, because I wanted a total overhaul, to be very honest. I wanted a new look, a new feel, and coming out of Bhavaspandana, I was a totally transformed person. It was like a total overhaul. So I did these things too, and yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. The amount of opportunity, the amount of things that Sadhguru has created for us to totally overhaul ourselves is just tremendous. I want to clarify is, in the previous podcast I had shared about, after my separation with my ex, I had asked two more ladies out and they rejected, and how to handle rejection. I think I didn't mention the context from where I went for that. Actually, it was now when I look back at it, it was not from a place of trying to fulfill this thing from within me, to be very honest, but it was actually after my Bhavaspandana program. So I was feeling very happy. I was actually feeling so happy within myself. At the same time, from a young age, I've never asked a girl out. To be very honest, I've never asked a girl properly out. And I'm 33 years old now. I'm like, what the hell? I've not asked if I like someone. I still, as an adult, I still do not have the courage to ask a girl out. What the hell? Like, what is the maximum that can happen? Maximum, they will say no, and I should be able to accept it. So both these ladies I asked out in that context. So in that context, when I asked them out, yes, there was a little bit feeling of despair. Yes, when beautiful girls reject you, of course you will feel a little bit despair, but that's okay. I still felt happy that I could take the guts out to ask them out, and for me that was a bigger win than the rejection, is what I personally feel. And at the same time, I came to this conclusion, yeah, this is too hard. And I just do my thing. This is not my thing. So that's what, after that I even though I was really happy that I did it, I stopped asking girls out. So I just started doing my sadhana, me going to new places, traveling to new places, making more podcasts, things that I do, because there's so much things in this world to enjoy. I realized that. So I thought, when the right person comes, let them come. Somewhere they might come. the person. When it happens, let it happen, and I left it to that rather than going behind it. So that is where I'm right now. I'm just allowing it to happen, but doing what is needed to keep my life settled. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for watching the last podcast, and the enormous support that you guys have given me, and the love, the DMs, the messages, the phone calls. I really appreciate that. So that is why I thought this video was essential, because I wanted to clarify certain things which I was not able to see in that. I'm not a big on to advice, and I just like to share my experiences. Uh, and now at the end of this video, I can say, guys, tough times will come, but you just go through it. But that's not how I am. I just keep it raw and honest. So right when at the week's end, when the divorce got finalized, just a few days back, I personally think it's not because of the divorce. That's what I personally think, because even when I think about it or the ex, there's no ill feelings within me or no feelings of resentment. But uh, I don't know, somehow something started crashing, because as a content creator, you see other people making videos, and I always support other people. I love when other people grow. But suddenly I noticed, when I see other content creators getting views and this thing and all, I was suddenly having feelings of jealousy and angst. I'm like, this is not something that I want. This is not something that within me. And it started like that. And I stopped making content because I did not want to make content from a place of jealousy and trying to beat someone else. But that just skyrocketed to a place where, suddenly I had my previous anxiety and my previous depression. The stability which I had got from Bhavaspandana, suddenly I felt it was taken away. And I feel that Sadhguru and Devi just gave me a extra support at that time so that I don't crash. But now they are like, okay, it's done, buddy. Now work at your sadhana, do what is needed, and just get out of it. So right now I'm just at that place. I'm a little bit down, to be very honest, and but getting slowly back up, doing a little bit videos, doing a little bit stuff, but not over pushing myself, being sleeping early. I realized the importance, during this time. Something that I really did was I would sleep early, I would wake up early, I would have 2 meals, I would try to eat before 7, sleep at 10:30. And this is very essential, guys. If you're someone like me who is going through a hard time, just having a dinacharya set will help you a lot. So that is where I'm right now at while making this video. So I hope you guys uh, found some value out of this video. uh, I know I didn't talk much about my 6 years of inner engineering, but I shared my experience. But I'm sure from hearing about me talk about this, uh, I think I think it is better than me saying what inner engineering can do. So it is a powerful tool. It has carried me, it is still carrying me. A fool like me, an idiot like me, buffoon like me is still being here, able to do a little bit in society, adding a little bit value, is only because of these tools. If it were not there, uh, I'm sure I would not be here. So I owe everything that I have uh, to I just have a small picture of calendar of Sadhguru, but everything that I have, everything that I am now, I'm not much, but whatever little is because of His grace, and because He's willing to do so much for people like me. Because when I hear of podcasts, listen to Ranveer Alabadi's podcast where billionaires and all come, and they all talk about hiring people, and they all hire the best people with a lot of emotional strength, stability, who are not erratic. And look at me, I'm very erratic. I could go through ups and downs, but yet Sadhguru is okay with me allowing me to volunteer for inner engineering and making things happen, like allowing me to be a part of his vision and making it happen. So it is just a blessing for me to be at when he's alive. So I just wanted to share that, and I hope if you are watching this video, you also take the step to at least try out the program. We have it online as well as offline, so you can just go to innerengine.com. There's a 50% discount for kids below 25 years of age is what I feel. At the same time, the massive movement launched by Sadhguru Save Soil. This is a message to all the volunteers. Please retweet Sadhguru's tweet. It just takes a moment. You should all be content creators. Content creators doesn't mean you have to make multiple reels or anything. You just share a picture of your flower or something and just add Save Soil to it, because together we can make a lot of change. So thank you for watching the video till here. Oh, it's 27 minutes. I'll have to edit this a bit, but yeah, please subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. I see many content creators say this, that a lot of people watch their videos but they don't subscribe, but I can't say that because I don't have that much views. But if all of you who are viewing this, if you could subscribe to my channel, that would really mean a lot. Please drop a comment. I would really appreciate a comment from you. I love reading the comments. So yeah, thank you. Namaskaram.